All right, YouTube. Great start to the video. Okay, YouTube, let's try this again. This is going to pretty much be a video on all the things I didn't cover in the last video and all the topics I didn't talk about. It's going to be about various issues, and I'm going to try to stick to the issues this time and not get off on a tangent and about myself, complaining about things and talking about myself. I'm going to try to instead keep it to the video and talk about the video. So the first one is on antidepressants, as I was talking about. I'm going to start with that topic. And I almost fucked that up. Anyways, death among our youth. Okay, anyways, it starts off basically why suicide increased, and this is conservatives talking about this, though I'm sure a lot of kind of supposedly do-gooding Democrats would talk about this too, and of course they're not doing good, and they're just looking for something else to scapegoat for larger problems and larger societal illnesses that they don't want to talk about. But basically, it's like when it says in the article something to the effect of when death among our youth skyrockets in the way that it has, it behooves us, as they say, whatever that means, to find reason to pay attention and find reasons why. Well, it might have helped you pay attention to some of those kids and some of these people, not just kids, but people in general, especially young males, before they all started killing themselves en masse. It might have helped you to care about them before they started doing that, or before that, when it. But of course, now, it's a mystery, isn't it? Gee, why are they killing themselves? No, actually, it's not. Don't expect an answer from them, because they're just going to take you down the same bullshit road they've taken you down every time anything happens since like the fucking Victorian era, where they try to find some single social cultural issue to blame all this on and act like there's no other fucking problems. And this time around, it's antidepressants, because they blame antidepressants, and they go on to say, and it says that kids are stressed, and one of the reasons why kids are stressed is the internet. Well, I might not be a kid anymore, but I can tell you this damn much: it stressed me the fuck. It has stressed me out. I can tell you that. But so what your solution is? Kids have depression. Kids have mental problems. Kids need help. So they go to the psychiatrist, and what is the psychiatrist supposed to do? Say, toughen up, hey, toughen up, buttercup. Is that how you're going to help the fucking kid? You're blaming the damn antidepressants because you want to control and be in control of what everyone else does. And you have this weird puritanical thing going where you want to blame something on something. And you've essentially tried to outlaw marijuana, every other form of drug. You don't want people to ever fuck. You even chop out part of their dick when they're born because you don't want them to fuck. That's the reason you started doing that. Now you're trying to go after antidepressants because that's the reason they're all killing themselves. Because it's not as if though they would be killing themselves without that. It's not the societal, but it's not all the societal problems. It's not the fact that, and again, you act like you don't know why. It couldn't possibly be because society is a mess. Their lives probably suck. A lot of these kids, because we're talking mainly about kids who are being bullied, they don't have a fucking future. You have college students, people coming out of college in debt up to their eyeballs, trying to get an education that you told them they should get. And then once they got that education, they couldn't fucking afford to pay for it. You have kids coming back home from the military, having seen people being blown the fuck up. You have homeless people and a massive homeless rate. You have shattered and torn apart families. They can't even be born in this country, like I said, without you mutilating their fucking genitals. And then you want to talk about you care about children? You don't give a fuck about children. You just want to push your fucking morality on the rest of us and try to find some bullshit cultural issue and morality issue to scapegoat all your fucking problems on. So no, I don't think antidepressants are the problem. Now, I used to be someone that talked a lot about antidepressants, but the reality is, antidepressant or no antidepressant, you still have a major fucking issue with kids killing themselves. You still have huge societal issues. You still have young males all the way up until their 30s, 20s, teenagers, doom generation, killing themselves. No future, no family, don't know what the fuck they're going to do, crazier than a bat, fucked in every way, and no one gives a fuck. And your gender roles aren't helping, and it's hurting males worse than it is females at this point. And you just want to put more shit on them, push it on them more, pour more of the shit on them. Let's not let people decide how they want to express their identity and what they want to identify as. You're going to tell them for them, right? Because you know so much better than everyone else. Because you that don't tread on me, small government people, want us to come in and tell other people who they are and what they should identify. Because you know better for them. You, someone who has never met someone, because of your bullshit and all your fake science that you don't care about, because you don't care about science, you still think the Earth is flat. Some of you, literally, some of them still think the Earth is flat. These fucking cocksuckers know more about that person, who they are, and what they should identify as more than they do. And then if you are straight, God help you, because now you're a pervert. And now all the feminists are going to say you're a pervert, and the conservatives think you are too. And no one wants a pervert dating their daughter because they're never good enough. Anyone who ever your daughter takes home will probably never be good enough, will they? You and your plastic fucking furniture to channel my inner Andrew Dice Clay. Use your little princess like a fuck doll, you know, Andrew Dice Clay. Very funny guy. You should look him up, actually. And he is not with me on a lot of issues, but he is very funny. And when it comes to feminists, he's a funny guy. Let's see. They're trying to ban the word bitch, or there's one supposed do-gooding, moralizing douchebag trying to actually ban the word bitch. And any Twitter mentions of the guy, he's a state representative, but Twitter mentions of the guy usually end in the almost predictable calling of him a bitch. So they're actually, it's funny seeing people call him a bitch. And he wants to ban the word bitch because now they're going to be so much in control of you, and they're going to control the language. They're going to control the language you use, or that you get to use, the wording you use, and they're going to tell you now what fucking words you can use. And if there was probably any word that I think should be banned, it would be the N-word. I think the N-word is very offensive. Also, and I'm saying the word because one, because I'm bisexual, and two, because I'm trying to tell you what I'm talking about. But the word faggot is another very offensive word. If you know anything about the origins of the word, that is a very offensive word. So if I was going to ban any words, it would be those two. But I wouldn't even do that because ultimately you can't control what the fuck everyone else is using. You can't pass laws to try to control the language, or literally fucking dictate the language that people use. That's not how language works. It's not how it evolves, and they're going to say what they want anyways. And what is this back? Was this back to the Bible where they used to stone you to death for saying the word Jehovah? Are we back to that point? If you've ever seen like Monty Python, the guy keeps saying Jehovah and they're trying to stone him to death, and then the other guy accidentally says it, so they stone him to death. Are we back to that now? Speaking of something on a more positive note about transgender people, a school in, I think, Pennsylvania school district has voted to replace traditional male-female locker rooms with a what was it, $4 million deal to create new locker rooms that are gender neutral for transgender people. Now, keep in mind, it was the conservatives who really pushed for this because they didn't want transgender males or females to be in locker rooms with biological males or females. And the entire ideal, the use of the concept that, these girls don't want a boar in the room with them. Well, actually, it was a transgender boar, that is to say a girl becoming a boar, that was using a male locker room. So the entire rape bullshit, that don't really fly here. And second of all, if you are a country full of people that are so rape crazed that if you put a fucking guy who is not even fucking not even a male anymore, he's trying to become a girl. If you are such a rape crazed culture that even your trannies are raping people, damn it, there's something wrong with you. But of course you're not. Transgender people don't want to rape girls. And if they did, they probably wouldn't be becoming transgender. And no one goes, I mean, even if you get rid of the sex change, even if you take that out of it, no one would undergo that much trouble, that much fucking changes to their body, that much hormonal changes to become transgender just so they can go around and look at girls in a fucking locker room. Or if they want to go to the bathroom to watch someone take a shit. Who does that? No one would go through that much trouble. But these conservatives, mind are in the gutter. They're dirty fucking people, so they think everyone else wants to do that because they do. Just like fucking Ted Haggard, who hated the gays, and then he was fucking caught stomping on fucking bathroom floors, trying to hit on fucking undercover gay fucking undercover police officers and trying to have sex with them in fucking truck stop restrooms. But then when he then when he got out of there, he went back to work. All of a sudden, he hates the gay people. We can't let the gays get married. You're so full of shit, it stinks. And you push this shit off on your kids. And your kids are taught to think this way and to look at everything in that limited, narrow fucking way. And it's nonsense. You're such idiots. And you could solve that problem about $4 million fucking dollars by just letting boys and girls just use the fucking locker rooms together. Now, I'm not saying they should all just go in the same place nude together, but you know what? They do in parts of Northern Europe. I know the adults do, at least. Adults damn sure do that, and they're okay with that. For the same reason they're okay with nude beaches. They're okay with that for the same reason they are nude beaches in nudism. You know why? Because they're not a nation of overgrown adult 6-year-olds who scream and giggle if they see pee-pee parts. But America, we are. So because we are, like I just said, we are, maybe it's better that we do this. And you know what? They tried to agree with you. So they gave you a $4 million fucking locker room deal to create new locker rooms that are gender neutral, where the genders are still separated and everyone's separated, so you can't say anything dirty happen. Nothing's dirty is happening. No one's in there fucking or anything. But that's not good enough because now you want to bitch because they spent $4 million. So what did you really want? That's really what this comes down to. I should have just skipped to this part. But what do you really want? You really just don't want transgender people to be able to be transgender. Because if they have to use a boy's bathroom and the boy's fucking locker room, if they're a boy or a girl, for example, and that's probably the primary main group of transgender people, that's who it tends to be. But if it's the other way around too, you can't do that. You can't use... the point is, you can't do that and then still identify as the gender you want to, because everyone knows now what gender you really are. So you can never live as a gender you want to be. And that's what this is really all about. And that's what they're trying to do. And that's what they want to do. And it has a damn thing to do with protecting girls, protecting the young people, protecting children, or anything else. And I'm so tired of you using fucking children and using young people and using women, by the way, to get what the hell you want and push in through this morality bullshit where you're trying to dictate the way the rest of us live. And you know better than the social justice warriors pushing through all the goddamn guilt bullshit and the fucking it's a bunch of concern trolling bullshit where you're trying to tell everyone else what to do. And the conservatives are just as bad as the pseudo-liberals. And I say pseudo-liberal because if you think what you're seeing with Antifa and what you see when you turn on MSNBC, if you think they're actually liberals if you think that's what liberalism really is, you don't know what the fuck a liberal is. And finally, they're trying to make jokes about and mock the defacing of or the vandalizing of that mural of the environmentalist girl, what's her name, Thornburg or whatever. Now look, imagine if this was the other way around, and someone threw shit on one of their stupid little Confederate statues. Well, that's not the same now because they agree with it. Just like, a lot of Antifa people, they don't want you to mess with their stuff. But they don't care about the law. They don't care about having equal respect for equal people of property. And if you have a problem with something, let's go to court over it. So they do a painting and they do a big mural to Thornburg. And you can just go and vandalize it now because you don't agree with them. And you're going to defend that. And you're going to act like that's okay. But it's not okay if we do the same thing to your shit. See, you're just as fucking hypocritical is the fucking Antifa and the social justice assholes. You're the same as a lot of these pseudo-liberals. You're the same as they are, and they're the same as you are. You're both full of shit. And that's the thing, don't mutilate your kids generally if you want, because it doesn't make a damn what I say, but I would rather you not, because, if you mutilate your kids genitals, you are killing 20,000 nerve endings. You can kill the kid himself. Between 50 and 120 children that die a year. And again, I can't say that for sure because that's like saying 80 to 89% of kids still are because they're not. But I do know that you're looking at a fixed number. I'm looking at from year to year. It can vary from year to year, but it's usually between 50 and 129. And some years it's close to 50, some years it's closer to 129. But that's not even the point. One kid is too damn many kids, or too much kids die for a fucking operation that doesn't even need to be performed. And you want to talk about you're against transgender people? Well, goddamn it, you want to talk about being against transgender people? Do you know how many children have to undergo sex changes because you fucked up the operation, and then they have to become the other gender? Some of them go on to kill themselves or commit suicide later in life. And then you live in a country and a culture like that, and you wonder why you have a suicide rate so high, especially among males. What a bunch of shit. And you want to know why young people are so fucked up. And now you're going to blame the antidepressants. When you're not blaming trannies and gay people and this and that. Or if you're a Democrat, you want to blame guns, and you're going to blame video games and rap music and rock music. And you want to blame cartoons and everything else. But you never want to, you even want to blame other countries, China and Russia and wherever else. But you never want to blame yourselves. You can never look at yourselves that, gee, maybe I'm not perfect. Maybe we're doing something wrong in this shithole. So that's the video. You're all fucking idiots, and I would rather you not mutilate your kids' dicks. Do not circumcise or do if you won't. I don't even give a fuck. You're idiots. P666.